first of all, let's talk about the level 90 boost.
Yes,
which is big.
$60.
Yes. Now, everyone will probably know about this, but just to let the minority of people know that don't know.
It's like, where have you been if you don't know? Like,
yes.
Everyone knows. But just
Blizz
in case.
Are going to charge $60 for a level 90. So if you buy the expansion, you want another level 90, it's going to cost you $60. What do you think of that price, Prosy?
Well, it's had loads of mixed reviews, hasn't it? Some people are saying, yeah, so fair enough. But I think the majority of people have gone, what? $60? That's ridiculous. And a lot of people are thinking it's just too much. And to be honest, at first, I thought, well, that's not that bad. I know it sounds bad, but, maybe $60 does seem a lot. But when you convert it into sterling, into our pounds, I've worked it out, and it's like £35.80, which isn't that much, really. It doesn't seem that much to me. Especially when it takes you so long to actually level a 90. Like, I was looking, and people were saying, like, 120 days or something to do level 90, so 35 quid isn't that bad. For me, personally. But,
so you think it's fair?
Yeah, I think they could even charge more. Like, I know there's going to be controversy over that, but yeah, even if it was 60 quid,
right?
And even more in dollars.
Well,
I think if people are willing to pay it, which I think some people will because they haven't got the time to level one, then they can charge what they want.
Well, so we don't tread on other people's toes, of what other people have already said.
Yeah.
I'll just fill us in on what people have said. So, Ian Hozakostas has been doing press events. He's been going around the world, filling in people on absolutely nothing, just repeating old information, basically. But he did talk about this price point that they'd set, and he said that they set it. Well, originally when it first came out, it was released on the servers for a tiny bit of time, as if like by mistake, and then they took it back out, and that's how people know about it in the first place. He explained why they put it at that, and he said it was that they didn't want to devalue the leveling experience. So they didn't want just anyone to be able to buy a level 90 because it'd make all the old content redundant, and they still believe that it's good content and it should be played. And he also said that he wasn't an economist, but he knows that it's not the most profitable price point to put it at. So, they supposedly they're saying that they're not trying to just make profit out of it. It's just something there to help players that are more casual, and they just want to get in with their friends and play, how they want to play. And the other thing other people have been saying is that price is roughly just above the power leveling sort of price. So if you wanted to pay someone, you're not supposed to do this, but if you wanted to pay someone to power level your character, that's it. I think it roughly comes a bit cheaper than that.
Yeah.
And then there's all sorts of time justifications, like the amount of time that you'd put into your character. It's worth it. People are saying that it's like 50p every day or something. I don't know, some stupid thing. But there's all sorts of justifications. Yeah. But the main thing, I just wanted to say something that maybe other people haven't said so far about this, which I think is that even though he says that it's not the most profitable price point, I think it works perfectly for them in terms of like money making, just because if you level all your characters to 90 instantly, the amount of time that you've got to play World of Warcraft is limited, by the amount of level 90s you've had. You won't have as much replayability there, and so you'll unsubscribe sooner.
Yeah.
Is my theory. So by not making it as cheap, you're sort of letting people subscribe for longer. And so I think people stay in the game longer, and also it lets people, like I've been appreciating recently, the older content and things, and it sort of it's not as fun, but it's still fun. It forces people to check that out and see, all the stuff the game has to offer. So even though he says it's not most profitable, I think it is just because it retains your customer base.
Yeah.
More.
And being somebody who hasn't played that long, and learning the lore sort of for the first time, it's nice going back to the old ways and dungeons and sort of learning more about it. But even though I say that I thought it was going to be more, I actually wouldn't pay that price. Personally, because I'd rather just level it, even though it does take me forever. But Ian also said, didn't he, that it was for people who didn't have time to do it, who earned a higher wage and worked more hours, so they could afford to just, pay it and get the 90 just straight away and just start playing. And I think that if the demand's there, they can charge what they want. If people are going to pay that price, which I think quite a few people will, then of course they're going to put the price up. And I think it's actually quite good that he said that it doesn't devalue the leveling experience, so that's why they put it at a high price. Because at first, I think at first it just seems like typical Blizzard, because Diablo was more expensive. That when that initially came out, that was like 40 quid, and the average PC game back then was about 30 quid. Yeah. So
people would have gone, oh, typical Blizzard, high prices. But then it's good that, he said this as well. Because
I think at first we both thought, oh, well, they're undervaluing the leveling experiences because they're just saying, right, you can just go straight to 90 now, you can just ignore that content. As if they were saying, right, we admit, we're not going to change the old content, we're not going to do anything with it, and quite frankly, you can just go straight to 90, don't worry about that. So it's quite good that he did say that they're not trying to undervalue it and that people should still be leveling. But yeah, I just think that if the demand's there, then they are going to put the prices up. But I think that what they should probably do instead is instead of just paying for a 90, you can just pay every 10 levels or something. You can try and kickstart it, just go straight to level 10 or level 20 and then level from there. Yeah, that is a good
idea actually, because then it breaks it down into sort of more affordable chunks. You don't think
more
of
manageable.
You don't think of it as $60 and that's it.
It's the same with anything, isn't it? If you're looking at something as a whole and it's going to take you so much time and it's it stresses you out or whatever, but if you break it down, then it seems more manageable and it doesn't seem as bad. And also then you can skip just skip the content that you're not that keen on or you've done a million times, and then just go into the newer content. You can start from Cataclysm or whatever, and you can level it to 70 or 80 and then start from Cataclysm.
Give people the choice,
Yeah, rather than just doing the whole whack, just pay every 10 levels or something. So maybe that's something they should think about.
Yeah, and the scaling, the level scaling, so you could scale down your level. So if you did want to, because the whole point of this is, so they say you can get in with your friends quicker. Well, if you had the level scaling like Rift, a much smaller company than Blizzard, then that it cuts out that need there. But then potentially they'd cut out this profit margin.
Well, to be honest, we were hoping for that when Warlords of Draenor was announced. We were hoping for a level scaling. Even when you're leveling your character to try and catch up with my priest, if the level scaling was there, it'd just be so much easier.
I think something must have gone seriously wrong there, because it was hinted at quite a long time ago, and then it should have come in with one of the patches, I think, or at least come in with the expansion, and it's just been shelved. And I think it must have been because Greg Street was the main one that was telling people about it, and it's just sort of gone away with him. So I don't know, I think there was some sort of mix up there. Anyway, enough of that. Next news item, the removal of Justice and Valor. It's quite a big